Okay, what I have to do is tighten up, or see if they're loose, the transmission mount bolts on both sides. So if they're loose, to actually do that, I have to pull the tranny. That's another fucker, because then I get to pull the kicker to pull the tranny. So, but if they're loose, guess what's going to loosen up? And I don't know if they're tight. So, when I'm fiddle fucking around down there, that is what I'm attempting to do. Let's see if I can even do this with this or not. I maybe can, and I maybe cannot. I need to get another tool. Okay. Okay, a little bit of rearrangement here. And this will hopefully work. I think. There we go. Presto. Into here. And that is tight. Yay me. Alright, come on. Can't have that inside the case. No, we can't. So let's try this here off. This here, this angle. No, I can't. Damn it. Alright. Yay me, that is also tight. Whew, looking good. Now, come on. Let's take this. It's tight. And I'll get under. Okay. This one actually has the cotter pin in it, so that one will be tight. This side does not. These bottom ones take castle nuts with a cotter pin stop. Okay, now this should be 5/16. Okay, make sure that's tight. is. Okay. And one more tool. And we'll check the other training bolts here. 1 second. And these factory main 4 nuts are 5/8, whereas the other ones are 9/16. So now we got a 5/8 in hand, and get on there. Let's see what we're doing here. Should be 5/8. There it is. Okay, tight. And tight. Yeah. Now I've ridden this bike for about 4 gas tanks full, and generally when the transmission is loose you can feel it. But I don't want to assume, I want to know. Because it could be just starting to loosen up, you follow, and you won't feel it maybe. Because everything is locked solid with grease. Come on, get on there. There we go. And it's all nice and tight. Perfect. So now we know for a fact all that is tight. So that is beautiful. Okay. So that's that. Bring this back around here. And let me get a couple supplies, and I'll be right back with you. Put these tools away later. Gotta wash my hands. Be right back. Okay. You know, a couple of friends of mine probably don't realize, because they got chops themselves. When I posted this on Facebook, said, oh yeah, I can get into the details. Well, I do have a 4-speed clutch video that got into the details. And this hub is right on the borderline of questionable. So we're going to get up close here so you can hopefully see this. You see those little wobbles in there? When it wobbles, your clutch plates, they have to travel up and down these shafts smoothly. So if it's got any indents in it, it's not going to be as smooth, and it'll start eating into your clutch hub plates. But the actual running of the bearing surface, as I showed you, is nice and clear. And these studs can be replaced. They can be peened, ground out and repeened. Somebody might want to save the original hub. This bike is for sale. So if they want to do that for whatever reason, they can. If I was going to ride this thing for any amount of miles, I would replace this. This is on the borderline. It should be replaced, but it will work. You can take some sandpaper. This is 500 grit. You can go up to 1200 grit and clean this up, the dirt off of here if you want to. Some emery cloth, Scotch-Brite, anything. Doesn't really need to be done, but some people do it for semantics, I suppose. The key thing is this smooth? And this is not smooth. It's close to it, but it's not. This is barely worn out. But again, since this bike is for sale and the person might want the original hub, we're going to put this back in because it will work. But I wouldn't put miles on it, 50 or 100, 200 miles. It'll go down the road. You want to go, hey, I'm going to go on a tour for 1,000 miles, put a new clutch hub in, because it'll eat your clutch plates out, and they ain't around no more. And secondly, this here gets worn. If this isn't smooth, your steel plates can't travel. And Rob Nussbaum says he's had good luck filing this. I've never tried. I just put a new clutch hub basket. That was good, but they're getting hard to find. And obviously these are riveted. You could always have another hard facing made and rivet the piece in. So Harley set it up so they could replace the sprocket if the sprocket is worn, that sort of thing. But this is the correct piece and in good shape. And as you see with the dual balls, the surface where the dual balls travel is fine. Now this has to ride here on this surface here. So essentially your entire powertrain of your motor is transferred to the rear wheel on this little piece. That's it. That's it. So if this is loose at all, okay, you got to re-rivet it, put a new one on. They do get loose. So I found my supply of clutch hub nut washers. Now I'm going to pull this stuff back over. Now I'm pretty sure I explained this in the clutch hub video that I did. But we're going to go over it because not everybody can't find it. They're watching this, who knows. So we're just going to explain everything. Now, these little spring doodads here are essential. They do make reproductions. And make sure you get the spring-loaded ones. This causes spring tension and stops it from chattering and wearing out those pieces in your drum here that I showed you. So they say out for a reason, because these little springs have to go in the right direction and travel. Okay, that makes it work properly. Work and work properly are two different things. So you want to make sure it works properly. Now we cleaned it in the Stoddards, and then I went with a Scotch-Brite wheel on the grinder and lightly buffed this to get any surface glazing off. Not take any steel off. Not to take any fiber material off, okay, just to get any glazing off, because they will get glazed and then they slip. Another thing you have to look out for is the holes here are just starting to show a little bit of wear, okay? So these are original. Again, if I was going to replace this, these are starting to become questionable, but I would still use them because it's original clutch plates as opposed to an aftermarket, and I really don't know of any good aftermarket. But these are on the edge of wear. So, but if I was replacing it, I'd put a 5-finger hub in it with the bigger rollers, put these on because they're original, and if it eats up my clutch hub, you follow, it's just another clutch hub. It's just an aftermarket part at that point. Good ones of these that are original are hard, but I don't have a whole set of these studs. Years ago, you just bought them from Harley. So we're going to use the original parts, and if somebody buys this machine from me, they can do what they want. Or if I get in a situation where I go, yay, woo, no way in hell I got to sell that bike, we're keeping it. Well, we'll put another clutch hub in at that time. It's stupid easy to pull apart, as you saw, and just go zap, zap around the road. Now, again, this machine was serviced by, I think, Cotton's employee at Liberty, or in Illinois. Great carb man. But this is exactly what an employee would do. They wouldn't take the time to clean this up properly. They just throw shit on and go, yeah, I did it, because they're working probably by the job, or they're just too fucking lazy, or they don't know. So I can't imagine that Cotton doesn't know, but somebody didn't do that. But they obviously put a new main seal on it, or I'd have oil all over the place. So the main seal's fine, which is nice. I didn't really want to have to do that. Why do something you don't need to, right? Now, the other side of these early clutches is this. This is a spring-loaded plate. You follow? Faces out onto the steel pressure plate. Now this here gives proper tensioning with a half plate on the steel. The steel at the time they felt was going to grab properly. Later on they figured out a fiber plate onto the steel plate works even better. So why they had this brilliant idea at the time when they could have just experimented around, I don't know. But these do work just fine. That is part of it. But make sure this goes out. The steel has to go on the steel for this particular clutch design to work properly. So that's that. Now, this is dry. Take a finger test. Okay, we got rid of the grease here. Beautiful. I'm not dismantling the entire machine at this time, putting the frame in the stodders to clean it all up. Maybe at one point in time we'll do that. It does not need to be done to this machine. That would be because I felt like it. Okay? So what we do here, again, I'm not going to ride this machine very far. There is no line on these keyways. You follow? This machine's got 22,000 or some miles on it. So I can safely bet when they serviced it, they probably put new keyways in. And being that good keyways and good bearings and all that sort of stuff is stupid, that's hard to find because nobody's making shit in America anymore because there's no bikes left in America. We're just going to reuse these. Okay, because I'm not going to ride it very far. And the old Gary Bang ones that I had that were real, I'm getting real low on. Now, whoever serviced this bike left the original cork setup in here with washers and so forth and a snap ring without replacing the cork and putting a seal. That's why the transmission was low, because it all puked out into here, into the clutch. So there's nothing wrong with the original. See, it has a snap ring here. You see that? So I took all that out promptly in the trash can. Don't need it, don't want it. But the nut is good. So what you do here is, which I showed you on the other video, put your seal in. Okay. Now we're going to grab one of the sockets we're using over here. And direct them. Tools essential for this. we go. This will work. Has to be slightly smaller on the ID. I think this is. Maybe. Maybe not. Let me go get a proper socket. Okay, here we go. Proper socket. I'm going to push that down. Put our second seal in place. Always double seal these. This oil is a direct puke from the transmission into your clutch. It's a dry clutch. That means no oil. So double seal it so you make sure you have no oil. How complicated is that? You'd be amazed how many people won't do it. You're a shop, guys. You're a shop. You charge the customer an extra $1.50 because you double sealed it. Is that hard? So let me turn on the air compressor. Get us a little air going. It's your bike. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. I'm going to show you what I do. And I do it every time. And I've done it for 35 fucking years. And I came to me with guys with 10 to 15 years experience on me. So that's a good 50 plus years or better because they learned it from someone. The people doing this way. You grease your shaft. It's a tapered shaft. Yes, it is. So what that means is that you have just enough molecules of grease in here to make sure the thing doesn't weld itself. You destroy your shaft. Punch-up's nothing. Sprocket ain't so easy to get, but punch-up is nothing. Okay, but how you want to rebuild your motor because you didn't grease it? Through the training. I've seen it happen. You betcha. Destroyed. Take a torch and cut it off. So, we're going to take that back in. A little smidgen of grease on that. Not too much. Okay, let's see what's there. See what's here, huh? Okay, we got that there. little fingers on. Like that. Get this stuff everywhere. Now again, this is a reverse thread, and you need a lock tab. Don't forget your lock tab. If you do, you will have your clutch hub fall off. And you go zing, zing, no power. What happened? Because you were stupid. That's what happened. Always go to the mechanic. And before I put this on, this is actually really important. Take a little smidgen of oil, not much, fresh oil. Okay, we clean this off. Don't need any seasoning problems. It's really stupid. A little smidgen of oil in there, that's all you need. Right on. We're getting excess oil. Get rid of that. Get our little socket. This is 1 1/8". Okay. Yes, they make a clutch hub tool that goes on and you can hold it. You can do it by hand. I've lost a lot of nuts. Not impacting. Beating it with a sledgehammer, blah, blah, blah. Get an impact. Learn how to use it. It's so simple. Notice I'm not going. Learn how to use your impact. Okay. Come on. All right. Come on. Tighten up. A little bit bigger screwdriver. Hold on. Sometimes, as the saying goes, you have to break out a bigger hammer. In this case, a screwdriver. Just doesn't want to flatten out all the way. So, we'll make sure it happens. Now you want this flat. So I'm going to show you again. One of those tabs has to be flat on the nut, not cocked completely flat. Now there's no excuse for bending the shit out of this, as you just saw. Use the right tool, right? You only need one. Make sure one is done. When you start bending this, this here is what holds all that grease in. So if you bend it, it's going to arc, allowing your grease to escape. Don't do that. That's what these are for. This is pressure plates to keep this flat. Don't bend the shit out of this. You'd be amazed how many people do that. Like almost everybody. Okay. As you saw, there's no excuse for it. Now, my hands have light grease residue. All right. So we're going to put this in here. Come on. In there. Ooh. This would be a pain. Come on. Yeah. Yes, sometimes you actually need a hammer. And we're going to take our little sprocket shaft here. Do not need much grease, but it has to be greased. Okay. So that's that. Now, get our chain. I assume they replaced. It's a very nice shape. Let's see if I can read it here. It is a Ladies and gentlemen, this is an original chain. This is a Duckworth chain. This is a Harley Davidson chain. It's probably the chain this bike was sold new with. Is that cool or what? So, we're going to take and put this on here. Come on. There we go. Stay in there. Now, come on. Flashlight. There it is. Oh, wow. Oh, look. Come on. I might have to lose my finger. Okay. Ooh, that's going to be a pisser. Alright. We have a light here. Okay. Excuse me a second. first off, I gotta wash my hands. I'm gonna have to take my shirt off because I'm sweating and my glasses are fogging up. And I can't see a fucking thing. Okay, now, as I've made these videos, there's always some fool that has to say, well, blah, 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 with us, whatever, whatever, and has his clothes on. It's like, fool, I got 2 years left on a lease. It ain't my building. It's 10,000 square feet, and it's probably about 200 grand or more to air condition this motherfucker. So if you want to air condition my building, put up or shut up. Meanwhile, sometimes I gotta have my shirt off because I'm dripping sweat and I can't work. If you don't want to watch it, turn it off. It's on the internet. Use your right of free speech and shut the fucking video down. That simple. Okay. Well, maybe I can see what I'm doing. Oh. Come on, get under. Just can't quite see. Having an issue, do it without the chain. Find out what the issue is. Why are you not going on? Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to go and get a tool here. Pop this back out. One. Out of there. There we go. Now, what is going on is I have a couple thousandths too much on this keyway. That could be from how it was made, could be corrosion, could be coating, whatever. So I'm going to step away from the video. You're going to hear me in the background, and take some vice grips, put it on here, go zip zip on the Scotch-Brite wheel until I no longer have a press fit. I can't have any slop. Slop is bad. Slop, I ruined the keyway. The press fit will fuck me up. If some of you guys can do that with a press fit, obviously somebody did, yay for them. So, I'm going to get rid of the press fit. you know, as you see, I lightly polished one side and not the other because I don't want to take off too much material. There we go. Now it slides in and out. I have no slop. So all it was a little bit of surface patina, if you will, messing up my day. It's original chain. For all I know, this is the original keyway. Now it could be a new old stock chain. It could be a new old stock keyway. I don't know. Your problem today. Just being uncoordinated. Come on. Damn it. Some days are just fucking with you. Here we go. Get over here. Oh, you bitch. Just wants to play with me. This is why most people edit their videos. Sometimes it just pops together. Sometimes it don't. There. Finally. Love it. Okay. Put a little more juju on it. You know, came off on the hands. A semi-clean paper towel. And problem solved. Okay, now yeah. Sometimes the simplest stupid shit can turn into a pain in the ass. Now, my buddy Paul Greenwood said, make sure you grease the inside of the drum because I'm afraid of rust. Well, this particular bike is not a bike that I would plan on getting in the rain. If you're going to get in the rain, just so you saw me put a little bit of grease on that. Put a little bit on the inside of your drum, on the bearing surface, just to make safe. Just to make safe. But, as I told him, the bearings spew out just enough mist of grease, it's not going to rust. But he says, yeah, I like to be certain. It's like, well, okay. So if you feel like it, put a little grease there. Not inside the basket, just on the bearing surface itself. So that's up to you. So on open belt drive, I do that. On this bike here, in an enclosed system, no, I don't. Okay. So now, go. Now, again, clean clutch plates, slightly greasy hands. Go wash them, always. Okay, now, if you don't know what goes what, count the clutch plates. Okay? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3 steels. So, fiber goes first. Fiber can be this way or that way, it doesn't really matter. But here's the magic. Again, it has to slide easy, just like that. If it doesn't slide, it's too worn out and your clutch ain't gonna work. It's gotta go easy. What you got for me?
Twins and one egg.
It's egg time.
No,
Okay.
no, it's not. I just want to show you.
Oh, you
Twins.
just, yeah, we got 2 baby eggs.
Twins and one egg.
Probably my egg meal time.
It is? You want some eggs?
Yeah, give me an egg and my
One or
pills.
two?
1 eggie and my pills and a half a glass of water.
Oh, okay.
So, that tells me that it's sliding. It's going to make a little more noise, but I can get away with this and ride this bike. Right? But again, if I was going to put miles on it, hey, I'm going to go up to Reno, I'm going to go on a tour, blah, 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 which I don't think is going to happen. Then I put a new clutch hub in it. Right? So, again, out. Okay. Again, this has to slide easy. Okay. If it ain't sliding easy, it's too worn out, replace it. Now, the other reason why I'm showing you this is because some of you guys may not have the money to buy a new clutch hub and you need to ride your bike. I've had Harleys for daily transportation. I know what it's like to be fucking ass broke and live in a garage. My first shop was called Todd's Garage for a reason. Right? So, if you don't need to spend that money and you're that ass broke, then you don't need to spend it, right? And you can safely ride your bike and have a working clutch. Here's my spacey. Where the hell did my steel go? I did. Here I'm running my mouth and I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. Don't do that. So if you yank at your steel halfway at the end of the day, you did exactly what I did. And go, oh fuck, I put it in the wrong spot. Motherfucker. When you pull it back apart, you find it. And off you go. Okay. Again, this face is out. Like so. Voila. Yay. Now, we got some other goodies here. Pull this over. There. Springs. All right. All right. me go get my little washer and we reassemble this. Now, you will notice that I lightly took the, it gets burnished. That burnishes material and it doesn't grab properly. So, Scotch-Brite wheel again. If you don't have one, 1200 sandpaper, not 600 sandpaper, it'll scratch it. It's 1200 sandpaper. It's got to be, just get the burnish off. It's almost like a polish. And okay. You know, we shall put this back in. You'd be surprised how many guys go through all this and they do not take the time to clean all this. They should screw in nice and easy. No burrs. If it's got burrs, that's what taps and knives are for, right? Okay. Now, put our little springy springs in place. Nothing you haven't seen me do on the other video. Including dropping stuff. Aha! My goodies. Thank you, my love. One raw egg. 5 desiccated beef amino tabs. And half a glass of water. Yeah, man. Here's my helping doo-doo. My job, boo-boo. Just dripping sweat in here. On there. Yeah. Come on. Move that in place. Put this in. I'm holding the screw with my hand so it doesn't spin. Come on. Get on there. Mother. Screw on there. Alright, there we go. Find my little wrench. So, we're going to show you a little trick. Come on. Stay in place here. Stay in place. screwdriver upside down. Spin on it. Cool. Okay. If you can see that or not. See, I put the screwdriver in the vise, stuck it in the hole here, tightened it up a little bit. Now, you've got three. It's tightened up enough. Let's go ahead and tighten it up some more. There we go. And we showed you on the 42F. Oh my God, what's these lock tabs? Factory stuff. So that, I mean, anybody in their right mind would have replaced it with this here, just like this has been replaced. This would have had lock tabs too, according to the book, which I've never seen before, because they've always been gone through. Come on, screw in place. You. Okay. Now, so that's that. So now, what I'm going to do, so I'll get my little measure here, put this back, and I'll be right back. And again, 31/32 of an inch. And got quite a ways to go. Get the socket in. You can change everything, so always double measure. Be certain. Okay, so that's that. Now I can't adjust all this till my rocket clutch is done. So we're going to stop this little video here. That is barely in the room of okay. It'll work. See, some people are checking their chain adjustment like that. I do a little loose. But that'll work. I like to have it a little bit looser, but I'm not about to undo all that transmission stuff. I have grease. Now I can't tighten it up. Nightmare. This will work. I'm not going to write it that much. It's fine. It's good. So that's that. Somebody's calling, and I'll see you on the next video.